Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Philip and today we are talking about you and specifically who are you? And I know this is a very vague question, not a redundant question, but it's just so vague that it's so annoying to even attempt to ask. But today I will ask you, who are you? And just take a few minutes and think just a few things. Who am I? Just the first things that come to your mind. Who are you? And if you were to ask me this question, even if I asked you this question on the street, you would be pissed because like, what the fuck? Why are you asking me that? But for most people, it would be your name, your age, the country you're from, your nationality, the city specifically where you are from, maybe even the hospital where you were born. It would be your preferences, your likes and your dislikes, your beliefs, your values, if you want to go that deep. And these things would be considered who you are, right? Especially like your name. Your name is who you are, isn't it? Of course it is. If you ask me who am I, I'll say I'm Philip. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I'm Philip. Let's use myself as an example. I would say I'm Philip. I'm Kenyan. I was born in Nairobi. I like playing soccer and watching soccer, playing basketball, watching sports in general. I like reading. I like making videos. I'll say my beliefs and my values. I would say these things, even right now, I would say these things are a part of who I am. These things are who I am. Is that really so though? Is that true? And when you actually dig deeper into these things that we say or that we think we are, when you dig deeper into them, you start to realize, oh shit, these things aren't really who I am. Yes, they are things and concepts and ideologies and beliefs that I attach myself to, but they aren't who I am to the deep core of me. Your name. Your name is just a word that your parents gave you at birth. My name is Philip. I could have been named Tony or Ben or any other name, and I would attach myself to that other name as well. It's not like this name Philip has a special thing to it, right? Any other name would have the same effect. And so with your name, it's just a word we use to represent who we are, whatever that even means, but it's just a word we use to represent our being. Our name has, to be honest, our names are very insignificant in terms of who we are. It's just a word used to represent our being. It's just a concept, it's a word. Your preferences and your dislikes are just separate things, separate concepts that you attach yourself to. Your beliefs as well, and your values, your nationality. I'm Kenyan. That's just a concept that I choose to attach myself to. Right? This is very important because we attach ourselves to these ideologies, these beliefs, these concepts, these ideas, and we say these things are who we are. You have your name and you have your being. But we attach ourselves to these things so much that it becomes one whole, just becomes one. We think our name is just us. It's just a part of us. Not a separate word we use and we attach to ourselves, but just as one thing. Which isn't true, right? Your name is a separate word. It's separate from who you are. Your age, your nationality is separate from who you are. Right? It's very important to understand that these things are separate from you. You choose these things, or even you choose these things, or you just get indoctrinated into believing these things. But we believe these things so much that we think it's just one whole thing. We believe our name, age, nationality is just one. It's just predetermined. We have no choice in the say, which isn't true. Unless, like, if you're indoctrinated, then yes, obviously, like, the choice is very hard in that situation. But you have to, it's just being attached to these things. You are made to be attached to these things. This is very important, because when I ask you who are you? And you see all these concepts and all these things, do you think these things are separate from you, or do you think it's just who you are? It's just attached to you. It's just one whole piece of one thing. Most people don't even think about this, right? People just think, oh, yeah, I'm Kenyan. Yeah, I'm this name. Yeah, I like this thing. This is part of who I am. You have to recognize that it's separate. Knowing that these things are separate is important, because once you know these things are separate, you can go on and you can literally construct who you want to be. Quite literally, you can attach yourself to any concept you want, and that will be who you are. Now, if you do this in a good and growth-inducing way, then that's going to be very beneficial. But this can also go the other way, of course. You can get bad beliefs, limiting concepts, negative beliefs and values and concepts. That's very, very likely, and that happens to everyone. But the most important thing to understand is that who you are is a construct of multiple concepts, ideas, beliefs that you attach yourself to, including your name, your age, your nationality. All are just ideas, concepts. And this can be hard to believe, right? Because just with nationality, people attach themselves to that so much. If I diss your country, you will feel some type of way, because you feel like, bro, that's my country. Why are you saying that? That's my country. That's who I am. Don't diss my country. But let's say, for example, if we decided to govern the world in a different way with no countries, no cities that we have right now, then you would attach yourself to something else. Or let's say the country you're from, the name of that country changes. You would attach yourself to that name, right? Like, it's not a constant. Like, these concepts are just ideas that can be changed. And let me just say this right now, it's not wrong to attach yourself to anything. Well, it is wrong if it's like very bad, but I'm just saying in general, we have to attach ourselves to things, because if you don't attach yourself to anything, if you detach from everything, this can lead down a path of severe nihilism and severe hopelessness, which can lead to depression and very bad things. And as well as, we need these attachments, honestly, just to survive, right? To survive in the world, you just need to be attached to things, because when you are born, all you can do is attach to things, is to learn. If you don't learn as a child, then it's going to be very hard to survive. So just on the basis of just pure survival, attachment is very important, because attachment gives us meaning, overall meaning. And yes, of course, there will be bad attachments, because if everything is just concepts that humans made and are still making, then of course there's going to be some bad ones in there, because that's just natural. Humans are flawed. That's just going to happen. So remember this, when you think about who am I, it can change in an instant. If you want it to change, if you make it change, it can change. And honestly, when I figured this out, when I realized this, then it just made me think like, damn, bro, this shit is just fucking, like, what? You're saying I can be whoever I want to be? Bro, bet. I'm gonna be whoever I want to be. And that sounds very freeing. That sounds very exciting, but it's hard. Because being who you want to be is hard. Even if you know you can change, it's hard being a new person. It's hard detaching from things that have been a part of you and a part of your life for multiple years. That's super hard. Detaching from bad beliefs and values, that's hard. So it's a hard process. But the first step is realizing that you can detach, and also you can attach to new things. That's the first step. And honestly, this is just a lifelong journey of just trying to attach yourself to the best things possible, because it's just so hard. And honestly, like when you think about personal growth, personal growth is essentially just trying to attach yourself to things that are more beneficial and more better, and just better, whether it's habits or routines, schedules. It's all just trying to attach yourselves to new things, to better things, to beneficial things. But the important part, really, the whole point of this video is to understand that you are attaching yourselves to concepts that humans have made. And it's important to understand this because now you know these concepts are not just you, they are separate from you. That's very important. And you might even say, okay, if I detach from everything else, I'm still a human being. I'm still a human. Well, when you break that down, when you say, okay, there's the word human that represents the being, and there's also the meaning behind the word. You have the being of a human, like the body and all that stuff. You have the word human that represents this being, and then you have the meaning of what this word means. Three separate things: word, meaning, and the being. Three separate things. So when you say you are a human being, are you the word or are you the being? If you're just the being, then you don't need this word over here. You're just the being. And then you have the meaning. But obviously this gets into like very detailed stuff, and this is the important thing to know with language. Language is very limiting. It's dualistic. So when you say that you are a human, you have to understand that's two different things right there. But obviously I know you mean the being of human, and this is the thing with language. Like it's very important because language helps us describe things and understand the reality we live in, but you also have to understand that language is dualistic, right? Don't think that you are the word human. You are, I know what you mean by, yes, you're human as in you are the body, but you have to realize that language doesn't work like that. Even though we think it does work like that, it doesn't work like that. But overall, this whole video, just understand that you are what you attach yourself to. Of course, I would tell you to attach yourself to better things, but you know this already. Like this is the most basic thing of anything. Trying to be a better person, trying to have better habits, better routines, make more money, have better relationships. All these things include attaching yourselves to better concepts. For example, let's go with money. This could be including attaching yourself to being a healthy person, mentally and physically, learning more, reading more, taking more action. Like all of these concepts, you have to attach to these things so you can be these things. What you attach yourself to is what you become. Very important, but this is basic stuff. We all know this stuff. And if you don't, then now you do know it. But I will repeat again because this is just so important. The whole point of this video is to understand that when you think about who you are, just remember what you're thinking are just concepts. Your name, age, preferences, all are just concepts. So you have to understand that. And you might be asking, if we detach ourselves, if you detach yourself from everything, all these ideas, all these concepts, all these ideologies, all these values that we have made up. When I say we, I mean humans, that humans have made up, what am I going to be left with? Well, to know that answer, you have to do that and see what you find. That's the best way to understand something is by experiencing it. So if you want to know the answer, you have to go and do that and then experience what is left. because whatever I say is limiting. I'm using language. So if you want to know, you have to experience it yourself. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.